Faizon is half right. Oh my goodness. So there's this interview with Faizon Love on DJ Vlad, and people are going livid because there's a clip in which he's talking about reparations. Vlad asked him about reparations, which is taking place in California, or at least proposed, and Faizon says that, it's complete BS. That it's actually, it's a gimmick. I think he said it's a hustle.
That 23,000. You know what it is? That's another trick bag. You know why? Because that money's gonna go right back to Cadillac, right back to mother Benz.
And he proposes that instead of cash, reparations, what should happen is that black people should be tax exempt, because black people were written off during slavery for the slave owners. So in response, we should be tax exempt.
You know what it should be? Black people should be tax exempt. Because when you were a slave, you were tax write-offs.
Now, a lot of people didn't like what he had to say. A lot of people gave him a whole bunch of backlash, especially given the fact that he's not from the States, okay? So they were like, yo, listen, I don't know what you're talking about. You have no right to talk on this. You're talking nonsense. Cut the check, yada, 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 yada. The reason why I say he is half right is because he is. One thing that I agree with Dr. Umar when he talks about reparations is that I believe, and he believes, something has to be permanent, okay? Because what has been gained from our ancestors in this country is permanent. You can't undo what has already been done. It's permanent. The success of this country is permanent. And in response to that, I think descendants of slaves should gain something that is permanent as well. Now, what Faizon said would be as far as tax exempt. I don't really have an issue with that. If it's tax exempt, whether it's property, whether it's something, free education, something permanent. However, in addition to cash payment, okay? That's where I think he gets a half, and I think that's where the other half is, that it has to be in addition to cash payments. That's what needs to happen. Now, this is the point where you guys start to boo and you start to throw tomatoes at the screen, because I'm gonna have to give you some tough love. I, once again, side with Dr. Umar when he talks about the mindset. Because listen, I'm not against cash payments. I'm not against tax exemption. I'm not against any of that. However, one thing we have to acknowledge is the facts of the matter when it comes to black Americans in this country. When it comes to us, we are heavy consumers. That over 50% of us find shopping relaxing, okay? In-store shopping relaxing. In addition to that, the majority, I think over 60% of us, in some cases, enjoy high-end brands. Now, I'm not knocking that, right? I'm not knocking that. If you got the money, hey, you want to treat yourself? Hey, treat yourself.
Clothes.
Treat yourself.
Fragrances.
Treat yourself.
Massages.
Treat yourself.
I don't have an issue with that. The problem with this is that 38% of us, okay, when it comes to adult black Americans, are financially illiterate for the most part. Financially illiterate, okay? We scored high in, I think it was debt management, and I forgot the other one, but we scored low in investing. That's so investing in risk assessment. So you have to take this into account. This is serious, because if you get an inheritance, which is what this would be, it'd be a debt owed. So I don't want to go with inheritance, but it'd be a debt owed from your ancestors that is given to us. And it's our responsibility. One thing I very much vehemently stand on is that this is not about the individual. I hear a lot of these people talking about cut the check. I want my money. Don't worry about what I do with my money. This is not your money. This money is for the group. When you look at Sherman Order 15 and whatnot, we were supposed to be getting, 40 acres and a mule. Mule came later, but it was a piece of strip on Florida. That was for the group, okay? because we didn't have anywhere else to go. It was for us to build upon. There was no white area we could go to. There were no white businesses. There were no white loans. None of that existed. So all we had was the group. That's all we had. We were going to build and unify together, which is eventually what we did, even without that 40 acres and a mule. So I want people to understand I'm very much about the group. If this does not benefit the group, then it's pointless, because all this is going to go is right back to square one. So when it comes to reparations, this is not about the individual. This is about the empowerment of the group. This is about the empowerment of Black Americans in this country to eliminate that wealth gap. That's what this is about. This is about that when you've fallen on tough times, that you have someone in your social circle who is Black, who can lend you that money without being a shark, without, trying to, charge you crazy interest, whatnot. This is about when you have a problem, there is a hospital that can treat you, Black woman, without, thinking that, hey, you're just being extra with the pain tolerance, okay? That's what this is about. So you're not dying in the hospital when you're having your child. That's what this is about. This is about building an economy within an economy. This is about building an empire within an empire, okay? That's what this is about. If you talk about I want mine, I don't think you should get it, to be honest with you. I really don't. And I personally think there should be stipulations in regards to reparations. One, I tweeted about this, but the first one to be, if I can remember off the top of my head, would be that it would have to be for the empowerment of the Black community. And that's in regards to, it would have to go towards either a Black-owned, let me repeat that, a Black-owned, all right, not a Black manager, not a Black mayor, not a Black face, a Black-owned, okay, school, a business, a hospital, a bank, some type of institution. Next one would have to be in a predominantly Black neighborhood. Here's the thing. There's a study that goes out and talks about, hey, Black people, are really good when it comes to buying houses. The problem is when you get into higher areas or higher areas of income, higher levels of income, what many times happens that y'all want to move into predominantly white neighborhoods. That doesn't benefit Black neighborhoods. What that does is that allows and expedites gentrification. That's what that does. So no, if you get reparations, if you are descendants of slaves and you qualify, no, that money needs to go in a predominantly Black neighborhood. That's where that needs to go. And then the last one would be that it would be mandatory that everyone, okay, who qualifies for reparations has to take a form of financial literacy. That's what they would have to do. They have to take a financial literacy class in order to gain access to the funds. Now, of course, this could be temporarily suspended in case of an emergency of some kind, a foreclosure, hospital emergency, whatever that may be. But you would have to take this course of financial literacy so that you know how to invest, so that you know how to spend this money within the community. So you know that when you see a wolf, you know how to avoid shady business practices, okay? And people who are unscrupulous, who will be looking to target us with money, okay? Because what we would be sheep to many of these wolves. On top of that, in regards to what Dr. Umar says, is the mindset, okay? Is the mindset. And I think with the rules that I've laid out, it would force group economics. It would force you to engage in group economics. And it would recondition your mindset, because you have to understand you're constantly being you're being propagandized. Every single time you go on your phone, every single time you turn on a TV screen, every single time you walk outside. Propaganda. And much of it is anti-Black propaganda. So we have got to recondition ourselves, okay, to love ourselves and to view us in a favorable light. Because they have trained us to hate ourselves. They have trained us to not like our skin. They trained us to not like our hair. They have trained us to not like our women, our men. They have trained us not to trust each other, along with many other things, in addition to a ripple effect of the post-traumatic slave syndrome that affects us today. So we have got to retrain ourselves. Oh, and the last one I forgot to add on top of this would be there would have to be some type of portion of the reparations that would be put into a trust in the form of grants that would further promote the evolution of Black empowerment. So if you want to start a business or whatnot, you show, I guess a council or a group of all the group, everyone on the council would be Black Americans, okay? We're not going to have any foreigners. We're not going to have any non-Black people on this council in regards to Black American resources. So this council will be held by Black Americans, and they, you show them a business plan, and boom, you get resources. Hey, you want to go to college? Boom, you get resources. So what we want to do is, in any way, in every way, avoid outsourcing our finances, outsourcing, our brightest and smartest. That's what we would want to do, okay? And because a lot of people are on about this individualism, I'm hyper individualism, we can't do that. We got to be very much a monolith to the most of our ability. All right? This whole concept of, oh, it's bad to be a monolith. No, it's not. No, it's not. If everyone's on code and everyone's about the empowerment, then no, it's not. Because that's how you have power. Okay? When you don't have resources right now, you have power by unity. One finger isn't going to hurt you. Two fingers isn't going to hurt you. The 5 fingers is going to hurt you. But you combine them together to make a fist. Okay? Something that Dr. Claude Anderson says, and those before him. So I think that is the best way moving forward when it comes to reparations. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Whether or not you believe Lucas, this is nonsense, all right? And you can miss me with that nonsense. Or if you don't believe, you know what? That's fair, okay? That's 100% fair, because we have to recondition ourselves from generations and generations of trauma and propaganda. I mean, even our culture isn't owned by us. We have got to take all of that back, slowly but surely, and we have got to, as far as socially ostracize those that are off code. If you go and get hired by a person who's telling you to talk ill of your community and talk about, causing harm to another Black person, you're off code. You're done. End of story. You are now alienated, and good luck in the white communities and the Hispanic communities and the Asian communities, because you're no longer allowed or accepted in the Black communities. It needs to happen like that. Now, if you happen to disagree with this video, you're more than welcome to call in during disagreement day. There's just typically, there'll be a number on screen. You call in, we duke it out. Either or, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe. All that fun stuff. Till next time, guys. Be amazing. This money is for the group.